Welcome to our comprehensive coverage of what is shaping up to be one of the most compelling and historic encounters of the 2026 Wimbledon Championships. Right now, the tennis world is buzzing, the atmosphere at the All England Club is absolutely electric, and all eyes are firmly fixed on a monumental round of 16 clash that has everyone talking. Today, we are looking at an incredible generational and stylistic battle as the 29th seed, 21-year-old Philippine sensation Alexandra A.Eala goes head-to-head against the 13th seed, the seasoned and dynamic Italian, Jasmine Paolini. This isn't just another fourth-round match. This is a collision of a rapidly ascending superstar who has just pulled off the upset of the tournament, and an established grass court threat who knows exactly what it takes to navigate the treacherous waters of the Wimbledon second week. Just days ago, A.Eala sent shockwaves through the sporting globe by doing the unthinkable, dismantling the defending champion, J.Paolini Swiatek, in straight sets 7-6, 6-2. In doing so, she became the very first player from the Philippines to ever reach the fourth round at the Wimbledon Championships, etching her name into the history books and carrying the hopes of an entire nation on her shoulders. But standing in her way today is Jasmine Paolini, the Italian veteran, who famously reached the final here in 2024, has been in devastating form. She just obliterated Maria Sakkari in barely over an hour, dropping a mere 3 games in a spectacular display of grass court mastery. This matchup is bursting with narratives. We have the fearless, heavy-hitting youth of A.Eala, riding a wave of unprecedented momentum, versus the tactical brilliance, elite footwork, and big match experience of Paolini. A.Eala struck first in their head-to-head earlier this year on the hard courts of Dubai, but today they step on the hallowed lawns of SW19. Where the bounce is low, the margins are razor-thin, and the pressure is completely suffocating. I will be taking you on a deep dive into every single facet of this phenomenal matchup. We're going to unpack the tactical blueprints both players must execute to survive. We will break down their journeys to this very moment, analyze the psychological warfare that takes place in the locker room and on the court, and explore the massive historical implications this match holds. So, settle in, because we have a tremendous amount of ground to cover as we prepare for a Wimbledon showdown that promises absolutely breathtaking drama. To truly understand the gravity of this match, we have to start by setting the scene and analyzing the unique crucible that is the fourth round of Wimbledon. They call it Manic Monday. Though the schedule has evolved, the second week of a Grand Slam remains the ultimate proving ground in professional tennis. The novelty of the first week has faded. The grass courts of the All England Club, once pristine and lush green, are now showing the wear and tear of hundreds of matches. The baselines are scuffed into brown dirt, altering the bounce of the ball, forcing players to adjust their micro-movements and footwork in a fraction of a second. This is the stage where contenders are separated from the pretenders. It is no longer just about raw talent. It is about physical endurance, mental fortitude, and the ability to adapt when plan stops working. Let us shine a spotlight on Alexandra A.Eala. What this 21-year-old has accomplished over the past week is nothing short of extraordinary. The trajectory of Philippine tennis has been forever altered by her presence in the draw. Coming into this tournament as a 29th seed, expectations were reasonably high, but few could have predicted the sheer ferocity and composure she would bring to the court. Her victory over J.Paolini Swiatek in the third round will go down as one of the defining moments of the 2026 season. Swiatek, the defending champion, is a tactical genius and a relentless baseline machine. Yet, A.Eala did not just scrape by, she dominated the pivotal moments. Taking that first set tiebreak 9 points to 7 required nerves of absolute steel. In the second set, A.Eala simply ran away with it, winning 6-2. She dictated the rallies, utilizing an outstanding, penetrating backhand that consistently pushed Swiatek off the baseline. A.Eala's willingness to step inside the court and take the ball on the rise neutralized Swiatek's heavy topspin, turning defense into devastating offense. But A.Eala's success is not a flash in the pan. We saw the foundations of this run being laid during the grass court swing leading up to Wimbledon, specifically with her brilliant semifinal run in Berlin. Grass is a surface that traditionally takes years to master. The ball skids, the bounce is notoriously low, and the rallies are shorter, demanding immediate aggression and impeccable timing. A.Eala has adapted her game to these nuances with the maturity of a 10-year veteran. Her serve has found a new level of precision, allowing her to win cheap points and protect her service games against elite returners. Furthermore, the cultural impact of her run cannot be overstated. A.Eala is not just playing for ranking points or prize money. She is carrying the sporting pride of the Philippines. Millions of fans are tuning in, watching history unfold in real time. That kind of pressure can crush a young player, but for A.Eala, it seems to act as rocket fuel. Her belief in herself is her biggest asset right now. She walks on the court with an aura of invincibility, unbothered by the pedigree of the opponent standing across the net. However, today, the opponent across the net is Jasmine Paolini, and the Italian presents an entirely different, incredibly complex puzzle to solve. Paolini is currently ranked 13th, but on grass, her threat level is exceptionally high. Let's not forget, she was a runner-up here in 2024. She knows the emotional roller coaster of a Wimbledon fortnight better than almost anyone left in the draw. Paolini's journey to this fourth round has been a masterclass in efficiency. She has dropped only one set through 3 rounds, and her destruction of Maria Sakkari in the previous round was a terrifying statement of intent. Sakkari is a phenomenal athlete, but Paolini dispatched her 6-1, 6-2 in just over an hour. Paolini's game is built on relentless consistency, breathtaking footwork, and phenomenal ability to absorb pace and redirect it into the open court. On grass, Paolini's low center of gravity becomes a massive advantage. While taller players struggle to bend their knees and get down to the skidding ball, Paolini naturally thrives in these low-bouncing conditions. Her early ball striking deprives her opponents of time, rushing their preparation and forcing unforced errors. She is incredibly adept at using the slice backhand to keep the ball out of her opponent's strike zone, a tactic she will undoubtedly deploy against A.Eala's heavy ground strokes. Furthermore, Paolini's serve, which used to be considered a vulnerability, has been retooled and fortified. It is not about overwhelming power. It is about elite placement, high first serve percentages, and utilizing body serves to jam a returner. Paolini is a chess player on the court, carefully constructing points and waiting for the exact right millisecond to pull the trigger down the line. She is bidding for her first Grand Slam quarterfinal since that magical run 2 years ago, having suffered heartbreak in her last 2 major round of 16 appearances. That hunger, combined with her vast experience, makes her exceptionally dangerous. Now, let us examine the psychological and tactical dimensions of their head-to-head matchup. They have met only once before, and it was earlier this year at the Dubai Tennis Championships in February. A.Eala won that encounter decisively, 6-1, 7-6. That victory is a crucial piece of the puzzle. A.Eala knows she has the weaponry to hit through Paolini. In Dubai, A.Eala used her aggressive baseline game to overwhelm the Italian, dominating the first set completely and holding her nerve in a tight second set tiebreak. But Dubai is a hard court. The conditions there are entirely different. The ball bounces higher and truer, allowing a player like A.Eala to set up and take massive cuts at the ball. Wimbledon grass is a different beast entirely. This will be their first ever meeting on this surface, and that shifts the tactical landscape dramatically. For A.Eala to replicate her Dubai success today on grass, she must maintain an ultra-aggressive mindset while exercising extreme shot tolerance. Paolini will not give her free errors. The Italian will track down every ball, forcing A.Eala to hit 3, 4, or 5 potential winners in a single rally to secure the point. A.Eala must serve with a high first serve percentage to avoid giving Paolini looks at second serves, which the Italian will happily step in and attack. A.Eala's primary objective will be to establish her cross-court forehand, pinning Paolini deep behind the baseline, and then utilizing her lethal backhand down the line to finish the point. A.Eala also needs to show a willingness to come forward. The volley is a vital weapon on grass, and if A.Eala can follow her powerful ground strokes to the net, she can take away Paolini's time and shut down the Italian's passing angles. On the flip side, Jasmine Paolini's tactical blueprint revolves around disruption. She cannot afford to let A.Eala find her rhythm. If this match turns into a baseline slugfest, where both players are trading heavy ground strokes from the middle of the court, the advantage tilts heavily toward the younger, more powerful A.Eala. Paolini must use the geometry of the court to her advantage. She needs to employ her slice heavily, forcing A.Eala to generate her own pace off a dead, skidding ball. Paolini will look to drag A.Eala out wide, opening up the court for her own precise winners. Furthermore, Paolini's return game will be critical. If she can anticipate A.Eala's serve and put the return deep down the middle, tying A.Eala up at her feet, she can neutralize the first strike and initiate the grinding rallies where she excels. Paolini must also draw upon her experience. If A.Eala comes out firing and goes up an early break, Paolini must remain completely calm. She has been in this exact position on center court before. She knows that momentum swings wildly in Grand Slam tennis, and she must weather the early storm and wait for the 21-year-old's level to inevitably dip. The mental warfare in this match is just as fascinating as the physical tactics. Alexandra A.Eala is playing with house money. She has already exceeded expectations, and the pressure is technically off her shoulders. That freedom allows her to swing freely and play instinctively. But as we all know, when a player gets a taste of the second week, the hunger grows. The realization that a Grand Slam quarterfinal is just 2 sets away can suddenly make the racket feel 10 pounds heavier. How A.Eala handles those creeping thoughts of expectation will dictate her performance. She must stay entirely present, focusing only on the ball in front of her rather than the historical magnitude of the moment. Jasmine Paolini, conversely, is dealing with the pressure of expectation and the ghosts of missed opportunities. Having lost in the round of 16 in her last 2 majors, there is a psychological hurdle she must clear today. She knows she is a higher seed, the veteran, and arguably the more accomplished grass court player. She will desperately want to avoid being the victim of another A.Eala upset. Paolini must block out the noise, block out the fact that the crowd loves an underdog story, and rely on her clinical, professional routines. Let us also consider the physical toll of the tournament thus far. A.Eala's match against Swiatek was a grueling, high-intensity affair, emotionally and physically. She has had a day of rest, but the adrenaline come down from a career-defining win can sometimes leave a player feeling flat in the subsequent round. We have seen it time and time again in tennis history. A player pulls off a monumental upset, only to lose in straight sets the very next day because their emotional reserves are completely depleted. A.Eala's coaching team will have spent the last 48 hours focusing solely on recovery and resetting her mental state. Paolini, on the other hand, comes into this match incredibly fresh. Her 1-hour demolition of Sakari conserved massive amount of energy. At this stage of a 2-week tournament, having fresh legs is a monumental advantage. If this match goes the distance, if it turns into a grueling 3-set war of attrition, Paolini's physical freshness and elite conditioning could be the deciding factor. This match is also a study in contrasting tennis philosophies. A.Eala represents the modern power baseline era, characterized by aggressive first-strike tennis and overwhelming ball speed. Paolini is a throwback to a more tactical, point construction style of play, relying on court craft, defensive brilliance, and counterpunching. Grass is the ultimate equalizer for these styles. It rewards both the devastating power of a flat backhand and the cunning subtlety of a low slice. The player who can impose their philosophy on the match while simultaneously neutralizing their opponent's primary weapons will walk away with the victory. The stakes today could not be higher. For Alexandra A.Eala, a win means a maiden Grand Slam quarterfinal, a massive leap up the WTA rankings, and a continuation of a story that is inspiring millions. It would solidify her transition from a rising star to a legitimate, top-tier contender who can beat the best players in the world on the biggest stages. For Jasmine Paolini, a victory means redemption. It means a return to the Elite Eight at Wimbledon, proving that her 2024 run was not an anomaly and keeping her hopes alive for a Grand Slam title that has narrowly eluded her grasp as they walk out onto court today. Listen to the roar of the crowd. Look at the focus in their eyes during the warm-up. This is what professional tennis is all about. The tactical plans have been drawn up, the physical preparations are complete, and now it all comes down to execution under unimaginable pressure. Who will flinch first? Who will step inside the baseline on breakpoint? Who will embrace the moment and seize their destiny? The answers will unfold over the next few hours in what promises to be a gripping, spectacular exhibition of world-class tennis. As we wrap up this extensive preview of today's marquee Wimbledon clash, the anticipation has reached an absolute fever pitch. We have broken down the devastating power and historic momentum of Alexandra A.Eala, contrasting it with the tactical mastery, fresh legs, and veteran resolve of Jasmine Paolini. We have looked at how their prior encounter in Dubai provides a psychological edge, yet how the slippery, low-bouncing grass of the All-England club effectively resets the playing field. This round of 16 matchup is a brilliant tapestry of contrasting styles, generational ambition, and immense pressure. Will the 21-year-old Filipina phenom continue her giant-slaying run and power her way into her first major quarterfinal, entirely rewriting the tennis history of her nation? Or will the 13-seeded Italian utilize her incredible court craft and experience to dismantle the youngster, proving once again why she is a former Wimbledon finalist and a master of the second week? The tactical battle lines are drawn. A.Eala must dictate with her heavy ground strokes and serve, while Paolini must disrupt, defend, and counterpunch with precision. Matches like this are exactly why we tune into Grand Slam tennis. It is unscripted drama at its absolute finest, where careers are defined and legends are born. We are about to witness an incredible battle of wills on one of the most famous courts in the world. Thank you for joining me for this deep dive analysis. Be sure to stay tuned, enjoy every single rally, and witness the spectacular drama that only Wimbledon can deliver. Enjoy the match.